Hello, and welcome back to Audiotree Live, the place to discover your favorite new band. My name is Jason. Today is Wednesday, September 24th, and we're coming at you from Chicago. Today, we have a band that's music is as beautiful as it is dark, blending post-punk with catchy melodies, as well as some truly brooding moments. All the way from Boston, House of Harm. Take it away, guys. guys, this has always been something strange for us here at Audiotree. Over 88% of you who watch our videos are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. So could we please ask you a favor? If you like this show and you like discovering new music and you want to support us, the free and simple way to do that is to just hit the subscribe button. And our commitment to you is that if you do that, our team will continue to get the best bands we can. We'll listen to your feedback. We'll book the bands you want to see on the show, and we'll continue spreading the word of live music to the world. Thank you so much. All right, that was Isolator by House of Harm. Guys, you are currently on tour with support right now from Sculpture Club, Pastel, and Stare Away. Even though the tour, I think it's in its infancy, right? Tonight's like the third or fourth show.
That's right. Tonight's the fourth show.
Okay, awesome. How's the tour been so far?
It's been amazing.
Good. Yeah? Without a hitch so far?
I could say, yeah, you could say that.
Okay, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Well, all right, guys. House of Harm, to me, is such a unique sound. Would it be safe to say post-punk is the right term to use to describe the band in a way?
Sure.
I feel like that's almost like an umbrella term this day and age because we have this whole scene now of this music and there's so many different styles of it, so many different variations and bands. But I really feel like House of Harm has a unique approach to it. You know, the songs are very energetic. Your vocals are very energetic. Where does that inspiration come from?
I don't know. I think we talk about it often. It's more like collectively, like our influences growing up, and I don't know. We don't really pinpoint it on one band or one scene or anything. I think we all come from different backgrounds, and this is what we're left with. I think the more we think about it, the more it drives us crazy. But yeah.
It's an easy thing to do when you get stuck down that thought process.
Yeah, of course.
So you guys are from Boston, and when I think of Boston, I don't think of post-punk. I think of hardcore, I think of aggressive music. So it's really, I was very surprised when I did my research to see that. How did you guys form the band being in that scene from Boston?
I think we kind of stood out. I mean, Tyler and I met when we were kind of just playing this on the same scene, and we were the only real bands doing this kind of music. So it was actually helpful to us because we seemed to maybe get more attention. If there was if there was a big post-punk scene, we probably wouldn't have stood out, I guess. So we were lucky in that aspect. But yeah, it's a weird town, and it's always changing. You know, I know everyone says college towns every 4 years or something, but
yeah, everyone says like post-punk or not post-punk. They say like hardcore, like ska. A lot we get. So for some reason, whenever someone's talking to us, it's like, oh yeah, Boston. I think ska or I think hardcore. But I don't know. I think we sort of like insulate ourselves. Like we do as the band, kind of insulate ourselves, and like not that we don't interact with that scene that much. Like we definitely, me and Mike definitely have like really broad influences throughout our lives that we put into this band. But I don't know. It's kind of. It's sort of like there was like a vacuum or like what is it, not a vacuum, like an absence there of our kind of music that we tried to fill,
Yeah, I agree with that.
Awesome, and I think that makes total sense. You're talking about ska and hardcore being so dominant in that area. So to have this, avenue to go down of sound and exploring, I'm sure it makes you guys stand out, like you said. What was the idea? Was the initial intention with starting House of Harm to do post-punk? Was that kind of like where you guys started?
We didn't really think about it, but I mean, this is kind of like the only kind of music I can make, so I didn't really have many options. But yeah, we didn't really, obviously we all played in other bands and stuff when we first got to Boston and did our thing. But this was kind of like I don't know. I think it's like the ultimate kind of sound palette that we all agreed on, and it's just kind of what happens. But we don't really put it in a box, though. We can write. We have a lot of stuff in the vault that would be shocking to the world, I'm sure, that maybe one day we'll see the light of day.
I do want to get into that in our next interview segment, but for now, could I hear a couple more songs from you guys?
Of course.
Let's do it.
miss you. A single sound spinning back around and I kiss you. I still need it now, like I need it then. We have to wait before we start again. Before we start again. We lost our ground from the heavens sound we looked up to. I think I need it more, like we've done it before, we will last through. With a bleeding heart, broken back upon, I can undo. And if all else fail, I hope you come to terms with how you wanted to. I still need it now, like I need it then. We have to wait before we start again. Take it back to the other. Remember this hand. Same face as another. I have to go. Take it back to the other. Remember this hand. Same face as another. I have to go. Take it back to the other. Remember this hand. Same face as another. I have to go. Take it back to the other. Remember this hand. Same face as another. I have to go. Meet me at the start of why. Say goodbye to all the things from the other life. Stop, maybe it'll be just fine. If only I don't find the words to make things right. Tonight's heart beating out of time. Expose your ways in the love that I can't find. That I can't find. A last dance full of all of life. Solidified that this couldn't be goodbye. Open up the beat inside. I'm sick of looking for words that I can't find. I can't console within the vicious pastimes spun out of control.
That was Soaked, In Pastel, and Vicious Pastimes. Guys, next thing I want to talk about for this interview segment is this album right here. The newest record by you guys. So when I was doing my research on the band and finding out some information about Playground, kind of want to touch on what you just said about your vault. I had read that you guys wrote 75 songs while working on this record.
Yeah, probably a bit more.
That's insane. So I have about 18 different questions within just that alone. How do you guys stay so prolific?
It's hard to say.
We're both really hyper, and we both have a lot of ideas all the time, and we both want to get our ideas heard. So it's like having one person that's really hyper, just multiplying that by 2 and having them argue with each other. And I think that's what comes out is 75 songs.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's so awesome. So you guys have all this music, right? And when you have an album like Playground, what's the process like for choosing which songs you want on the actual record?
That was a bit tough because obviously we didn't necessarily pick the best 75 songs. We picked the 10 that sounded the best together, and we wanted a cohesive record, of course. But I don't know, it can be tough. I think you basically have to just get to a point where you say, well, we use this one on the next record, not for this record. So I think that's what kind of helps me anyway let go of the ones that aren't going to make the cut. I'll just say, all right, well, it will be maybe a standalone single in 6 months, and just not tell these guys.
Does that usually happen though? Like you guys will release, maybe like on a future release, you will go back to some of those songs you have written in a previous session and kind of revisit it?
Yeah, we do that a lot.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. So when it came to picking out the songs for Playground, when you picked those 10 songs, because you said they flowed the best together, what was the idea also within those 10 songs that kind of made them connect maybe more than others?
It's hard to describe the flowiness. So maybe Tyler, you can have a better take on it.
Yeah, sometimes it's sometimes with other bands it's a lot about like lyrics and like lyrical themes, but with us it's more of like I hate to just use the word vibe, just throw the word vibes out there, but it really is just like a vibe that you get when you hear the 10 songs all together, or when you hear like a grouping of songs that you're considering. When you have the 10 songs that are the right ones, you kind of just get the vibe. But it's all about like then just picking the order and picking like that you're and confirming with yourself that you're actually choosing the right ones. But the process that goes into that's really just like sitting with them for a while, because our process is kind of weird where we'll make a song and then we'll sit with it for a while to make sure that it's like was it really that easy to write that song? Was it really that easy? Should we have done more? But then we end up like always telling ourselves to not second guess ourselves later, So yeah, it's more about just like a vibe, to answer your question in a way briefer way.
You know what? I think that's the best word to use, vibe or mood. I think that totally makes sense, having songs that kind of create a cohesive mood for a full record. You would want to hear that kind of connect in a certain way. So what is that mood, if I could ask you guys? Whether it's lyrically, musically, what do you think the mood is on Playground?
I don't know.
No, I was pointing to you because I was hoping that you would allude to the cover, because I feel like when people see the cover of the album, they're like, wow, that's one of the only covers I've seen, or one of the only album art I've seen that's like, it looks like the way the record sounds. And Mike, from the ground up, built this entire like scene of, and I'd like you to talk about it, because I think it's fascinating the way you did it. And not that I didn't trust the process, but I had to step back and be like, okay, Mike has an idea here, I'm just gonna let him go. And it turned out to be really, really fucking good.
Yeah, so like during the time, like, because we recorded it and then we had a few setbacks in terms of timing, so we had a long time to sit on the songs. And we were talking about artwork from the beginning, and we took some photos and trying to vision what the cover would look like, and it just didn't work. And I think it actually helped doing the artwork for it at the same time as like before it was done and everything. We were still kind of in the process of writing it in the sequence of the record. But so we basically just kind of like, after a few failed attempts at like what it would look like, we just basically said, all right, I locked myself away and I said, I'm going to build the world that Playground is in. So it was like basically, instead of just figuring out what the cover shot would be, I was like, well, what would the Playground world be? So I just developed these characters, and I had to source strange like circus costumes, and had to find a scene and then find makeup. So I basically just kind of like built the playground world, and then we photographed the playground world, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So that, yeah, the vibe of the record should be something similar to what you like. It should be in that room right there.
And to prove that he really does go off vibes with this stuff, I'm surprised you didn't mention this. He literally he did a sketch of what he wanted the album art to look like. Like if you look at the album art, it's like weirdly close. It's like he like sketched the entire thing with the archway. Before we even knew there was going to be like an archway in the background, we found this old theater that was like defunct and was like, going to get knocked down. He somehow found it. He like drew it. He like manifested it. It's very strange the way it happened. Like now I just know to no matter what he does, no matter what he says, I just trust it. You know.
It was a lot of work, and I was really nervous because it's one of those things where a song you could work on it today, tomorrow, the next day, whatever. But this we had like one shot to get it right, so it was like everyone on scene built the set, and if it didn't look good, we were fucked. But yeah.
That's so cool. I love that. I think that's such an interesting story behind an album cover. And I love that how you guys try to capture the mood of the record in a visual sense for it too. I think that it like is just like the home run. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you.
And I also love that you guys just trust each other on that level. I think that's so cool. And I think it's so important for a band, you know? Yeah, and to trust somebody else's vision and be like, hey, you know what this is going to be, and I trust you with that, and to then still have it knock out of the park, I think that's a sign that you guys are doing the right thing.
Yeah, that's how you make progress too. You know, if you're hung up on issues like that, you're never going to get anywhere. You know, it eats up too much time. So
absolutely, yeah, I could definitely relate to that. So this year, we've seen the release of 3 singles from you guys. We have Away Above, Carousel, and Can't Fight the Feeling. Would you say these songs are an indicator of what's to come for the future of House of Harm, or are these more kind of outtakes from the vault we were discussing before?
A mixture of both, I guess. We definitely like to have some fun with the standalone singles because we don't have to worry about tying it to a big body of work. So, yeah. I don't know, Tyler, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Mike on this one. We're pretty much done with the new album, and these songs could fit on it. We kind of went into writing the album like we wrote these singles as we were writing the new album, and we thought that they fit, but like let's just a couple of them, let's just put them out in the meantime. But they definitely like they're not a cohesive, like you know how we were talking about earlier with like the 75 songs, not all of them like belonging together. Not that there's like these singles are outcasts or anything, but they're just kind of just like they deserve to have their own light shown on them, I think.
Yeah, and sometimes we'll kind of like try new things with the singles that we would be too hesitant to do for a full-length record because that's like a big commitment, obviously. So we'll have some fun in ways that we wouldn't with a real record. So sometimes we cater that back. Sometimes we go further into that idea, but.
That's cool, and I think that makes sense too because you're looking at a single song. You know, you could capture so much more with that as far as controlling the vibe, as opposed to like a big body of work. You know, like Playground, for example, what we were saying. So that makes sense. Lastly, I just want to ask, what can we expect creatively from the future of House of Harm?
Well, a new record, new production for live shows. We have a lot of new music on the way. Another full-length record that we're recording as soon as we get home in a few weeks. So
we're really proud of that, and yeah, we're always thinking about just ways to just like make it feel new for us and for the audience that comes to see us all the time. It's a constant struggle of just like trying to outdo yourself. And as you guys saw with when we came in here, I had some trouble. We all had some trouble with our in-ear and our radio frequencies because I guess Chicago is like known worldwide. I guess, besides me, knows that the radio frequencies are difficult to manhandle here. And I feel like I'm always just trying to like outdo myself, but then I forget to like read about radio frequencies before I go to a place, which I probably should do. So I should probably stop putting the horse before the carriage, but that's how we've gotten here is what I think.
Yeah, and so far I'm glad that we were talking about recording the record before we left. And as of now, I'm glad we waited because I think it's going to be even better now. It's a new experience out on the road, so it's good.
Welcome to the city of complex radio frequencies. All right, guys, let's hear the last couple songs.
life in dreams. I wish that I could be nothing. I wish that I could hold on to everything. Coming back and ride with me. Stoplight, it's time to be. You turn aside, but I want it anyway. You always keep it still. You always speak until. You always turn it around and it's like a bed. You always keep it still. You always speak until. You always turn it around and it's like a bed. She tries to melt inside, oh my. She tries to place it in another light. She wants to take it in the weight of love. She says it's not a lesson life it seems. I turn the message back to me. I formed a paper house and it's my only. Run around, I wish I could feel. Oh, run around, you run around, I wish I could feel. You always keep it still. You always speak until. You always turn it around and it's like a bed. You always keep it still. You always speak until. You always turn it around and it's like a bed. You always keep it still. You always speak until. You always turn it around and it's like a bed. If I run to you with glistening eyes, see the way to your surprise. I never meant to put this song on you. Whoa, whoa. Sleeping days away from you, wondering if I'll get back in time. Waste the night with claims to you, pace aside the eyes that I call mine. Months behind the blaming part belongs to me of everything or not. Seeing signs I can't ignore cannot erase the truths that you won't tell. You send me away, what I am now. It's just not said in that way. move through me. Playing sides, full frame today, hearing notes up close, the words you speak. Your arms are rings that promise time, focused on the lines that take us home. Watch the eyes, uncommon moves, seeing what is left that keeps us hold. You sent me away, what I am now. Faces can't decide. You cherish the pain, no means without. I was waiting, now I'm falling. Divide, belonging in my life. To show no pain, conceal everything you mind. I know both sides, deceived, denied, the throes of being what you sow. You start to say, but lost, wanting to describe what it sounds like.
Alas, we have reached the end of our session here today. As usual, I would love to thank our Audiotree camera crew, our audio crew, and the people responsible for bringing you the best artists we could bring on the show today. I'd love to thank House of Harm from Boston for the amazing performance today.
Thank you.
And lastly, I would love to thank our viewers. If you haven't yet, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you like what you see on this session, feel free to also leave a comment and tell us your thoughts. You can check out this session right now on Spotify, Apple Music, and every streaming platform available. Once again, my name is Jason, and thank you for your time. We'll see you very soon.